In this video, we're going to be looking at how classes and inheritance works in the Java programming language. So here we have a complete animal class set up in a file here in Java, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking through how this class works and its various subclasses, like the dog class and the cat class, and then we're going to see these classes in action in the main class here, where we have some functions that we're running to test the classes, to print out information. So here we have, going back to the animal class, we're just going to run through this and see what's going on here and how all of this works, just to kind of get an idea for how classing works in Java. So we have this overarching public class here called animal. This is the main default class that the dog class and the cat class are extensions or subclasses of. So here we have the animal class with a private string set as the name of the animal, an int designated as the age of the animal, and a third string set as the species. So these are very default attributes here of the animal class. These could be overridden by the subclasses, such as our dog class here or the cat class, and in fact they will be as we get down there. But by default here, the animal class just has three of these: private string, the private int, and the private string for the species. So this here is called our constructor, and it's basically what the blueprint of the animal class looks like. So this is what you must use to create any animal, whether it's a cat or a dog or any other instance. You have to use this constructor format. So as you can see, we have the public animal with three parameters. We've got the string name, as we had up here. We've got the age of the animal expressed as an int, and the species expressed as a string. And we reference these here, this.name, we assign that to name, and so on for the age and species. So then down here we have some specific functions or methods that this animal class can carry out. So we have the public void eat, and this means, so this is the eat function here. It's going to print out a message to the console. And this here it's basically printing out the name of the animal as expressed in the private string up here. So we're concatenating that on to the string message here. Same thing for the vocalize method. And this is a general vocalization for any animal. Our dog and cat subclasses are going to put in specific vocalizations, like barking and meowing, for example. But here, it's a basic generic animal sound that's a combination of 10 plus different animals. So here we have the public string getName method, and all this is doing is it's returning the name of the animal. It's not printing anything to the console. It just is returning the name string. Same thing for the public int getAge and the public string getSpecies. The reason why we call it a public string is because the return type of the method needs to be a public string for this one. And it's going to need to be a public int for this one, since age is set as an int in the definition of the animal class. Okay, so now that we've looked over the overarching animal class, we can now dive into the subclasses or extensions of the animal class. So we have here class dog extends animal. And extends here, we're saying basically that this dog class is an extension or a more specific version of the animal class. So the dog class is inheriting all of the attributes and behaviors of this animal class. So the dog is going to be able to vocalize, to eat. You can get name of the dog, you can get age of the dog, you can get the species of the dog. Although we are going to override the getSpecies method here. As you can see, we're overriding the species string and setting it as private string breed. So we've overridden the default species string in animal, and we've called it breed instead. Because you don't have a species of a dog, you have a breed of a dog. So here we have in the dog constructor, it's a bit different. We have string name, int age, and string breed this time. And so this is just setting up the new breed constructor. Okay, now here we're overriding the default vocalization method of the public class animal using the override descriptor here. And we're setting the custom vocalization for the class dog as the woof rather than just the generic chomping and animal sounds in the general method. So we have a different vocalization here for the dog, as you can see. We also have a method, the public void fetch, that's specific to the dog class. So the animal class doesn't have this. Only the dog class has the public void fetch. And again, it just prints out a message, fetching mode enabled. So that is the dog class there, an extension of the animal class. Now we have the cat class, which is actually very similar. It's basically the same thing. We've got the private boolean is hungry taking the place of the string species this time, much like the string breed here for the dog. So we have our custom constructor. We've got the string name, the int age, and the boolean is hungry. And we set this up with the this.isHungry equals is hungry. And we're overriding the vocalization method again here, and this time it says meow, as a cat would normally do. So this is our overridden vocalize function. And we also have a method specific to the cat class now. So instead of fetch, it's the public void sleep. And this, again, prints out a message, sleeping mode enabled. So that is our cat class. Now we're going to go ahead and go over to the main function here. This is a separate file, because if you had it in here, we would get errors because you aren't allowed to have multiple classes in one file, especially if the second class has a different name, because that's breaking the rule of Java, where our class name up here must be identical to the name of the file, as shown up here. So, in our main function, we initialize the main function as normal with the public static void, and then we set up instances of the cat and dog subclasses. So, we're creating a new dog and a new cat. We have the default constructor, the dog Harvey equals new dog, and we have the required constructor, the name, it says here in the IDE, in fact, for you, name Harvey, age 5, and breed poodle. So these are our three constructors here. As we saw in the blueprint, it's the string name, the int age, and the string breed. And for the cat mushroom, we have cat mushroom equals new cat. Same thing. We've got the name, the age, and the is hungry. And the is hungry is currently set to true for this cat. So now we're going to test the classes by pumping the animals for information, essentially. And we're going to run this code in a moment. But before we do, let's look at what this is going to do. So we have a header here. It's just going to print out a new line saying sounds, announcing that we're about to print out sounds. Then we're running the harvey.vocalize function. So this is a function that's overridden in the dog class. So we've got the public void vocalize, and if you recall, this is overriding the default vocalize, and it's saying woof here. So we should expect that this right here should print out this long message. Okay, same thing for the mushroom. Mushroom is a cat object, so it's going to print out this long message as part of vocalize. Now here we have actions specific to each of these, both of these animals. We've got harvey.fetch, which we saw up here, is going to print out fetching mode enabled, and we've got mushroom.sleep. Mushroom.sleep is sleep function specific to the cat class. Okay, and finally we have standard methods from the animal class. So these are inherited. These are just default methods that we see here in the default animal class. So all instances of the animal class have the ability to print out their name, age, and species, and eat as well. Just because they're more specific animals doesn't mean they lose the ability to eat, obviously. So we've got harvey.eat, which is going to print out is currently consuming food. We've got harvey.getName, mushroom.getAge, and mushroom.getSpecies down here. Okay, now let's go ahead and run this entire main class by hitting the green run button up here. As a quick note, this is IntelliJ Community Edition IDE here, in case you were wondering. Okay, so we are now running the file, and here it is. Let's go ahead and make this a bit larger. So we have our first line sounds, and as expected, Harvey vocalizes with this long message. Mushroom also vocalizes with this almost as long message. And running the fetch and sleep actions or functions on these two animals, we get fetching mode enabled and sleeping mode enabled. Now we also have the default methods. We see Harvey consuming food. As expected, Harvey prints out their name as here, Harvey. Mushroom prints out 2 for the age. And Mushroom prints out cat for species as expected. Okay, so that right there is basically a complete tour of how classes and inheritance work in Java. We've got the public class animal, we've got the subclass dog, and the subclass cat.